Hey guys, it's Alexis here. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to be showing you how I achieve a dramatic halo eye cut crease. This is a great look if you love dramatic eyes, and also if you have hooded eyes. These tips and tricks are going to be great for you because I have hooded eyes too, so I know the struggle. But no matter what eye shape you have, you can definitely take away these techniques and tricks and make it your own. I really love the color combination of how this look turned out. I think it's very beautiful for a night out or, you know, trip to the grocery store for us extra people. After I do my skin prep, I love to do my brows and then carve them out with concealer. This is definitely optional. However, I do think that if you are going for dramatic eye makeup, concealer definitely works way better than eyeshadow primer. I actually don't believe in eyeshadow primer just because I feel like concealer works so much better. I think eyeshadow primer is just a way for brands to make more money. You know, it's just another product that you don't need. Make sure you use a medium to full coverage concealer. This is going to really help take away any eye discoloration, create a nice blank canvas for your shadows to lay on, and you also want to have a concealer that is matte finish because you don't want your eyelids to get oily or greasy throughout the day. You always want to make sure you set your concealer with some loose powder because you don't want your shadows to move around on the concealer. Your eyes will get oily and yeah, you don't want that. So going in with our transition shade, we are just going to build this up along the crease. You really want to make sure you have a light hand when you're applying shadow and just picking a little bit of product up at a time, blending it out, and keep adding a little bit more each time. This is my #1 trick if you really want to have nice blended, diffused looking eyeshadow. It's just going to turn out a lot prettier no matter what eye makeup look you are doing. So we're just going to build up this color, really work it all around the eyelid space we have, and then we're going to take the shade Roxanne and we're just going to build this up in our natural crease. So if you have hooded eyes, just, you know, keep working in your natural crease. We're going to eventually build up and keep going a little bit higher. We're going to keep on building up the shade Roxanne, and we're just going to start on our lid and then focus on blending up and in. We're going to do the same thing on the outer corner and the inner corner. Just blend up and in, and then the center of the lid and the brow bone space we have is just going to be a little bit more lighter. We do want to really focus on trying to shape our new crease. I'm going to be carving out another crease above my eye because we want the illusion of having more eyelid space when we have smaller eyes. So now we're going to take the shade Soda Pop, and I'm just using a smaller blending brush. This is going to allow us to control the placement of this darker color. So we're going to work starting at the lid, on the inner corner and the outer corner, and we're going to just kind of create a rounded out shape. And we're going to carve out, I know it looks a little bit weird right now, just wait till we carve out that crease because then it's going to look bomb, girl. Also, if you have a lot of brow bone space like I do, do not be scared to utilize that space and go up a little bit higher if you're working with more of a cut crease or halo eye effect because you want it to show up. You don't want your gorgeous eye look to be unseen. So that's the whole point of this, is making it appear like we have a new eyelid shape, a new crease, a new space to play around with color, and it's just going to look really pretty on the end result. So we are building up this darker color called Abyss, and then once we're done with building up, if it looks a little messy, that's okay because we're going to cut this crease, girl. So now we're just cutting the crease with Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and you definitely want to go above your crease if you don't really have a lot of lid space. If you have a lot of lid space, cut your actual lid space up to your crease because you already have a lot of lid space. You do not need to go above your crease if you have a normal shaped eye. But this technique is just for people who have more of an eye shape like I do. Always go above your crease because if you don't, your eye's gonna look really messy and dirty throughout the day because everything's just gonna transfer and you're just not gonna like it. When carving out your crease, the brush you use definitely matters. I prefer using a small, flat, tapered brush. This is actually a lip brush, but it works perfect for cut creases. It allows me to be very detailed and precise, which is super important, especially if you are creating an entirely new crease. You don't really have a guideline to go by since we are reshaping our entire eye. For me at least. If you have quite a bit of eyelid space to work with, you don't have to recreate an entirely new crease like I do. So you do want to let that concealer dry before you go in with any eyeshadows. So I let the concealer dry. I did not set it with any powder because we're going to use shadows to set the concealer. It's just going to make the shadows turn out a lot more bright. So we're only applying this shade very precisely at the top, and then we're taking the shade Faint from the Jaclyn palette, and we're just going to blend those two shadows a little bit together. Make sure you don't blend all the way up to the Excite shade because we don't want to take away the brightness of the top of it. So now we're just going to take a little bit of this brown NYX liner, and we're just going to blend that out along the lash line. After we apply the liner, you want to go in with a little bit of shadow. I'm using the shade Chip, and we're just going to take that shadow and blend it along the lash line. It's going to really blend out this liner so it doesn't look harsh. We really want to have that nice diffused blended look. So now we want to create more dimension. We're going to use the shade Jax, and we're just creating more dimension by making it a little darker on the outer and inner corners. And you always want to keep the top part of your crease a lot lighter. This is just going to help pull together this look and give that more ombre effect. So we're just using our finger to apply this on the center, and then we're going to pull down to the lash line in the center only. Do not apply this on the outer and inner corners. We just want to keep this nice and bright and metallic looking. And I actually do add a little bit of glitter. You can see from here now, I added a little glitter on the center of the lids. It just makes everything pop. Definitely optional. But yeah, I love the look of the eyes. They look so pretty. I'm super happy with how this turned out. So keep watching if you want to see me do my face makeup. So I already did my false lashes, and I will be doing some lower lash line shadow once this face look is complete. So for the face, I'm using Makeup Forever HD foundation stick. This is definitely my holy grail foundation, perfect for dry or normal skin. One of my favorite tricks is to mix high-end foundation with drugstore foundation because you get flawless results still, and also you're saving money. So it's one of my favorite things to do, especially if I do need to lighten up my foundation a little bit. This one's a little too dark. So I'm taking the L'Oreal Infallible Glow and mixing this with a little bit of this liquid glow from the brand Timptu, I believe. But it's definitely going to add a little bit more of a lighter finish, and it's going to make my skin more radiant. I'm all about coverage and radiance, so that's the face look I'm going for today. I do want to brighten up the under eye just a little bit, so after I blend everything out, I'm just going to apply my Tarte Creaseless Concealer. I love this concealer. I honestly forgot how much I loved it. I guess my Tarte Shape Tape has just replaced it over the past year, but this is one of my favorite concealers ever. So we just want to add a little bit of brightness under the eye and then a little bit down the nose. After I blend out my concealer with Real Techniques Beauty Sponge, I'm going to go in with a little bit of Timptu Shimmer Liquid Bronzer. I really love this stuff. It makes my skin look so good, and it adds some contouring and dimension without being too harsh. I'm honestly not a fan of the, super harsh contour look. I kind of think it's a little outdated now. So I love full coverage, but I also want my skin to look pretty and not overdone. So now I'm just going to set my forehead, chin, under my eye with a little bit of loose setting powder. And we do want to set that liquid bronzer, so we will be taking a little bit of Benefit Hoola bronzer and just going over that. It's going to help add a little bit more shape, and I will be using this as blush today because I'm not a huge fan of blush. I do love blush on other people, just blush is one of those things where it's like you either love it or you don't. Just kind of depends on my mood too. For my lips today, I'm using ColourPop's Ultra Satin in Aquarius. This is one of my favorite all-time lip colors. I honestly have like 3 of these. I always keep one in my freelance kit because this shade is so versatile for everyone. It works great with almost any eye look, so definitely get you one of these. If you're looking for like a versatile nude shade without it being too warm or too pink, this is it. I love it. So now I'm going to add a little bit of glow. I'm using Anastasia Sun Dipped Glow Kits, and then I will be adding a little lip gloss on top. I wish I didn't pick this lip gloss shade because definitely it's a warm undertone and it just kind of makes my lips look more peachy than I would like, but whatever, it's fine. And this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really loved filming this. And yeah, if you want to see more looks like this, just be sure to subscribe and leave me some love down in the comments, or a thumbs up, of course, is always nice. But I'll see you guys next time. And yeah, have a wonderful rest of your YouTube watching.